Hey, hi there, I'm Alphonse, and we are back on the Stranding. And I I just wanted to play the game. I wanted an excuse to play the game because um I have been really frustrated with one of the drawings that I was making for the Halloween event on the store, on the merch store. I just noticed that Sam needs to drink something right away because Sam is dehydrated as fuck. Drink something, dude. Drink some Monster. Also, Monster is not hydration. Don't don't do that. Drinking Monster does not substitute drinking water. Don't try to hydrate with Monster. But yeah, I have been really frustrated with one of the things that I was trying to draw, and I couldn't because again it's above my level. 189 fragile high price vintage wine. So the same route I did yesterday, but different item. Cell stimulation medication stolen by the mules. See this one. What is the premium? The premium in this one is that it is in a mule camp, so quantity 6 or more. I don't think they are super big or heavy, so I think I'm gonna do this one. Mainly to not do 2 videos in a row that are exactly the same. I used to have a zip line that went all the way down to the mule camp. But since it is a rainy area, the elder area didn't used to have this amount of rain. It only happens after the elder passed. I think that's the zipline that I was mentioning. So if I can repair this and it still works, what the fuck was that? Excuse me. Did any of you see the fucking backflip I just did and landed it completely straight? Like, yeah, the cargo was damaged, but Jesus Christ. That's Jason Bourne. Oh my god, if that was a stream, if I was streaming, that would have 100% been a fucking clip. Oh, it's such a shame that this is a video and not a stream. Because my fucking god, that was so cool. Like, again, the cargo was damaged. That was me, like, tripping onto something. But I don't remember ever tripping so hard that Sam goes flying and lands on his feet. Okay, so I am seeing nothing here. Fuck, if anything, the zipline should be either this one or one near here. Because that is like pointing to the opposite side, to the distro center. So let's go north. But yeah, I don't ever remember seeing Sam flying like that. That's a new one for me. Like tripping and falling a lot. Tripping and doing a kick flip with his own body in the middle of the air, that's a completely different thing. Okay, that's the zip line. Is there a zip line down there connecting to this one? I am seeing one right there. How far away is that? 300 meters. I think the max distance between zip lines needs to be 300, so we could check it with the binoculars and see if it is the distance required. I thought I saw Chiralium somewhere here. Maybe not. Something, the dark side of the force. Oh yeah, me being frustrated about the stupid drawing that I'm trying to make, because it really makes me angry when I cannot meet my own standards, because when I don't meet someone else's standards, I cannot control what they think or believe of me. So I cannot blame myself for not meeting someone else's standards, but I can blame myself for not meeting my own standards, because I set those standards. I decided that that was the line that I wanted to have. So me not being able to meet those standards makes me really fucking angry. And I know I should be more realistic about my drawing, because I am not that good yet. Like, yes, I used to draw a lot, but I stopped doing it, and of course your level will go down. Not that it was too high to begin with, but your level will go down. God, I keep pressing the wrong thing. I think this is a... Oh, it goes to the other side of the... Goes to the other side of the thing. Where is it? Is it that far away? Yeah, there's no fucking way we're gonna go there. Yeah, no, that's 500. We are not getting there on time, unless... The speed skeleton is ruined. What do you mean the speed skeleton is ruined? Oh, it's almost ruined. Yeah, it's on 20% health. I will have to fix that eventually. But yeah, I set those standards, and I think this is what I want to make this video about today. Gotta love ropes, seeing how they go nowhere, like literally nowhere. Maybe it's because the player that set them set 2 ropes and I only got 1 of the 2. But it kinda sucks. Because you would want them to, you know, go somewhere. Well, it seems that I can kinda do it with ropes. I don't really need the thing, so I just need to be careful. Circle? Circle. Thank you. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, golden ammo, hematic, or assault rifle custom. Standard rounds. Chiralium coated golden rounds. Shit. So it's not non-lethal. Well, I guess I will have to rope them. Though this place is a lot bigger and it's gonna be a lot harder. Counter. Do they know where I am? Am I carrying something that they can know? No, they cannot. Okay. That's still part of their camp. But yeah, I wanted to make this video about being more fair to yourselves and also setting like more fair standards for yourself. Claim cargo. Do you have any decent weapon? No. Well, maximum effort it is, I guess. But yeah, you need to set more fair standards for yourself, because at the end of the day, you are the one choosing those standards. And yeah, it's good to hold yourself accountable for not being able to meet certain certain goals that you might have. But it's not fair to yourself or to anyone, especially yourself, that you try to meet some standards that are impossible to meet. Because it will only lead to frustration. So, yeah, I do want to talk about it because, again, being honest, I cannot expect myself to be able to draw something that is inside my head exactly as I envision it if I never practice drawing. And I know exactly the things that I'm failing. I do have the mental image, like the clear mental image with all the details. What I don't have is the capacity to put that in paper, to actually draw that. Because, again, if you don't ever practice, how can you expect to be good at it? I am decent to good at editing because I do that all the time. I am decent to good at languages because I use them all the time. Drawing is the same. If I don't ever draw, how can I expect myself to be good at drawing when I never practice? And it's not like I expect myself to be good, it's just that I have the clear image, the clear goal, and a fucking deadline imposed by myself, because it's not like anyone is imposing this deadline on me. I chose the deadline, I chose the standard. And I am getting frustrated and angry at myself for something that I myself did. Which is, again, really fucking stupid. Repeat it with me. Self-imposed standards are really fucking stupid. Because, again, holding yourself accountable for, like, a lot of times I will not have the level I want to have on a language. And it's because I haven't been practicing that language at all. Like, right now, most of the languages I have learned are in a drawer inside my brain of, you know how to use this but not good enough. You know how to hold scissors but they still bend the paper in between the blades sometimes. That's the level of, like, language I have with, like, Russian, German, and French. And then you have languages like Japanese, where I have been studying it for years, and I'm able to, discern. Hey, these are scissors. I know what scissors are. I know how to use them, but sometimes I will just drop them. Okay. Well, someone saw me. Well, time to run it. If I get out of their area, that should be enough, I think. Should probably go to the... let me get on the road to get to the distro center, because I need to restock my my resources. This with the rifle would not be a problem, but without the rifle, it is a problem. What I wouldn't give for a vehicle in the middle of the road, now that I actually need it, and not when I'm driving through the road. But yeah, I will also go to the Lake Nut City, is it called? Yes. Let me go to Lake Nut to not only, like, restock on weapons that are actually useful, but also my boots are doing fine for now. But Lou and Sam are starting to, like, get tired, so we could, like, use the safe room and go fully prepared. Something, the dark side of the road. Dark side of the force, not the dark side of the road. But yeah, like, there are certain standards that you can set for yourself when they are realistic, when they are meetable. Like, If you have a to-do list for the day, and by the time you're done writing that to-do list, you think, there is no fucking way I can do all this today, redo the to-do list. Redo the to-do list until it feels reasonable. And that's, again, that's a slippery slope, because it will be a trap for yourself. It will be a trap for you to try and get comfortable when you sometimes have to push those boundaries. And sometimes, again, pushing boundaries is good as long as they are realistic and don't lead to frustration. Because if you set yourself for failure, or you set yourself for too comfortable without trying to get out of that comfort zone, you are fucking yourself up without reason, when you could be setting your own good standards. You could be setting standards that do work, but you just choose not to. Oh, there's something. Shit. But yeah, things like, for example, the to-do list that I just said, because I make to-do lists, I have noticed that I need to hold myself accountable for things, or I will have a harder time doing them. Not because I forget, but because sometimes I get like executive dysfunction paralysis, and I will just sit there and look at nothing for hours. And it sucks, because especially as a person that doesn't have any diagnosis of any kind, getting that executive dysfunction feels like, oh, you are just making up excuses. And that doesn't mean that I'm not saying, oh, well, I have this or that, I just don't have it diagnosed. I'm not saying that, because again, I don't believe, if I am on any kind of a spectrum, like be it autistic or ADHD or anything, I don't think it is deep enough for me to consider that I have anything. If anything, I think it might be just the migraines, that sometimes the brain fog is, it might be my migraines. I don't think it would be ADHD or autism. I think my migraines sometimes get too bad, like so bad, that I will just like sit there on standby mode. And that makes me really angry, because I will have things to do. And if I don't have a visual reminder to hold myself accountable for those things, I will not make the effort of getting out of that standby mode, because it feels more comfortable to sit on that standby mode. So to hold myself accountable, I have been making myself a shit ton of to-do lists. And some days I broke these rules that I just told you of. If you look at a to-do list and you think, there is no fucking way I can do all this, redo the to-do list. Sometimes I will not do it. I am talking from experience here. Sometimes I will look at a to-do list and say, there is no fucking way I'm doing this. And then at the end of the day, would you look at that? I would have not done it. And there are some days where I look at the to-do list and I would say, there is no fucking way I can do this. And at the end of the day, it turns out I did it, and I did more things than that I had on the to-do list. So sometimes you need to know when to push the boundary, and sometimes you need to know when not to. You have to be like really fully aware of what you can handle every certain day, at every certain moment. Not your mental health or your physical health is not gonna be the same every single day. So you cannot hold yourself accountable for things that you don't have control over. And that's something that it's hard to learn, but you have to learn it. Because if you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure. You need to be aware of, I need to treat myself respectfully, and I need to be able to do things that I think I have to do, and be able to do them without, again, setting yourself for failure in the process. Um, that's the case of the to-do list. The case of like going back to, sorry, I'm trying to focus on. First of all, I wanted to read the chip Claim materials, recycle, private locker, fabricate equipment. Fabricate equipment? How do you read the chips? How do you... Huh. I don't remember. I don't remember. Do you have to go to the first city to read the chips? Is that the thing? HG custom, assault rifle, HG custom, non-lethal assault rifle. Okay, do we have a non-lethal HG custom? Yes. This is what I wanted to make and I didn't. Okay. I don't remember how to read the chips. Maybe you have to go to the character that the chip is attached to? I was wondering why the rifle was orange instead of blue. What was I saying? Something. I forgot. How do you read the chips? Data, memory chips. How do you identify them? Huh. Because some of them are clearly connected to specific people. Like all these figures are, I think, dead men. I don't remember who the movies belong to. The things belong to Fragile. But how do you identify things? Oh, yeah, things like drawing, like share memory chip data. Okay, deliveries is a delivery. You
picked this up for me? You shouldn't have.
Oh, it is a Deadman thing. So he's the movie guy. Okay. Matango.
Thank you for your...
Okay, data, memory chip, Matango. 1963 horror movie by Ishiro Honda, director of several entries in the Godzilla series, in which a group of 7 castaways find themselves stranded in a desert island, which only one rule: don't eat the mushrooms. But soon enough, mushrooms are the only food that's left, and the rest of the film follows the fate of those forced to eat the sample of the forbidden fruit. The mushrooms in this cult classic are precursors of Death Stranding cryptobiotes, and possibly even the coral found in the sim. At least there are certain superfans who say so. Interesting. It's interesting that they mentioned that Kojima got the idea because the mushrooms are bad. I would have to watch Matango and like discern. But from that description, it seems like the mushrooms are bad. So why would you compare the cryptobiotes that don't seem dangerous to dangerous mushrooms? That's an interesting thing. That's an interesting comparison. Abandoned vehicle has been dismantled. I'm assuming it's speaking of the green the green truck that I got stuck. But yeah, accurate and fair standards will be better both for your physical and mental health, and again forcing yourself to the point of exertion where you cannot really do anything about anything will only lead you to disappointment. And it sucks a lot, because you could be having fun with what you're doing, or you could be being more productive with what you're doing if you weren't setting yourself up for failure by setting yourself some standards that you're completely unable to follow. Because you need to be realistic about them. I know that I have been talking in circles a lot this video with this topic, and I'm really sorry about it. But it's something that you have to really get into your head, and I might be trying to convince myself in here that there is no reason to be angry other than the problem is not that I'm not able to draw what I'm trying to draw, what I am envisioning. Sorry. Ugh. I had a sneeze stuck in my nose for a long while. The problem is not being unable to draw what I want to draw. The problem is
Okay.
forcing myself to believe that I need to be able to when I don't have the tools. So, if I should be angry at something, is that I'm setting myself up for failure, not that I'm failing. Because again, I chose those standards. I chose the deadline. I am the one forcing myself to fail. God damn it, I'm sorry, Lou. I am really stupid.
Come on. You can do it.
But yeah, I am the one setting myself for failure. So if I should be angry about something, it's that I am the one choosing to fail, not that I'm failing. You okay? Okay. Let's go.
Someone's happy.
We need we need to shoot people, so not the rope. This. I think most of them, if not all of them, are on the other side of the river. I still hate a tiny bit that you cannot look down sights. Especially if you're giving me a scope, just let me look through the fucking scope. That's not knocking them out. I think that got them, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I need to be a bit more careful about this. I just fucked my chance of being stealthy about it. Again, if I was looking through the scope, I would be a bit better at aiming. Because I could do headshots. I think the distance is also important on this. Because I think the more distance, the less effect the non-lethal rounds have. No, you're not waking that guy up. Come on, keep falling for the trap. Can you use the L1? Oh, you cannot use the L1 to... I was going to try and tease it like I do on Metal Gear to use the scope to try and aim properly. I guess I will just use a shit ton of bullets. I do have a lot of bullets, so doesn't really matter. As long as they keep trying to wake their friends up, I can keep shooting at them from cover. Go down, Jesus. Okay, that one is down. Either stay put or go down, please. Okay, that one is down. You are not. Okay, that was a shit show. It could have been a lot better. Again, if you get a headshot, you can do it in one shot, but you need to be able to see them to do that. Okay. I know, Lou, I know. For someone that is constantly suspended in liquid, you really do hate getting in water. Need to be careful of them not to see me, because the moment they see me, they will start attacking. And we want to avoid that if we can. But yeah, I guess this whole like thing is trying to convince myself that I don't need to be angry about not being able to meet the standards that I was setting myself for. Because I am not ready, and this is something that is looking at me constantly, and that I don't hate, because again, it was made by the most important person in my life, which is my wife. I do have a note, a post-it note in front of me that says, "Get your shit together." I made that post-it note. I was setting those standards. And then my wife saw it, and she wrote another post-it note that says, "Be kind to yourself," which is something that I fail to remember often, that I need to be kind to myself. And I have this note in here as a reminder of, you need to be more kind to yourself, because if you are not, no one will be. You are the person that needs to be kind to yourself. You are the one setting those standards. You are the one setting yourself up for failure. So you need to remember to be kind to yourself, to deal with the pressure that you are creating. And that's, again, that's a note that I keep on my desk constantly, because it's a good reminder that I am being too hard on myself sometimes. But I also keep the other one. I also keep the "get your shit together" note, because I also need to remember that sometimes I will just be lazy. I need to call myself out for things. Can I rope this guy? Call your friends. Okay, I think that was the last guy. But yeah, it's a balance. Porters will be able to traverse this area. So fixed. Cool. Now I just need to get the mission and get it together, because everyone is knocked out. I forgot that was a notification that you can get. But yeah, the magic is in the balance. The magic is in finding a balance to this like madness of trying to be productive but not be too hard on yourself. It's hard. I know it's hard. It's a really difficult thing to look at things and say, I need to be able to do this, but I'm physically or mentally incapable of doing it. And forgive yourself for that failure. Because at the end of the day, some things are just impossible at that specific moment, or some things are impossible at any moment. Some things will always be impossible. And you need to be able to understand that it's not your fault. And again, that doesn't mean be super indulgent with yourself. That doesn't mean be self-indulgent to the point of like being too lenient on yourself. Like, you need to find the balance to not excuse your mistakes, but forgive the ones that are forgivable. Because if you excuse all of them, you are again falling into the trap of Oh, this is the comfort zone. But if you don't excuse the other ones, you are falling into the trap of, oh, I am useless and I am failing. So you need to find a balance for that. That stupid road is stuck and I couldn't go to the right. Okay, where is the way up? There. So yeah, you need to find a balance for things. And you need to be able to you know your own limits. I know that I sound like a self-help guru or some shit. I am just like working through my own stuff, and I'm trying to, try to like help with this message that I'm working through for myself. With try to like translate it for someone else that might be going through the same. If at some point you feel like you're not meeting your own standards, remember that you are the one setting those standards. So just as my wife would say, be kind to yourself. As I would say, get your shit together. If you, and this is something that I keep like preaching that I that I should live by, but I don't really do a lot of the times. If you have control over a situation, why worry? And if you don't have control over a situation, why worry? If you can do something, just do it. If you can do nothing, there is no point in worrying because you can do nothing. Like, it's hard. It sucks to think that way. I know. I need to remind myself about it constantly. It really sucks to have to think that way, but you need to, because it's a survival instinct. It's a survival mechanic that you need to have. Because again, you are only damaging yourself, and by proxy, those around you sometimes, depending on how hard you are on yourself, but you're only damaging yourself by setting impossible standards that you cannot meet. So yeah, if anyone is going through that, here's your reminder to listen to my wife, be kinder to yourself. Because she knows better. She knows better than at least me. So be kind to yourself, deal with your shit, get your shit together, but also, give yourself a break if you need to. If the standards or deadlines are set by someone else and not yourself, which could be the case, it might as well be the case. Reevaluate if those standards or deadlines are worth it. Maybe you are on your dream job. Maybe you are doing what you are most passionate about, and you don't want to lose that job. You are doing what you love, and your own self-sabotaging is preventing you from meeting those standards that you are not setting for yourself, someone else is setting for yourself. And then we enter the, if you have control over it, do something about it. If you don't, why worry? Because again, if someone else is setting those standards for you, if you're not the one setting those standards, what can you do about someone else's standards about yourself? Can you improve in some way? Can you change something? Will that actually help? Because sometimes people have way too high expectations that will never be met. That will never be met no matter what you do. So, can you actually do something about your own standards? It's that going to work? Well, not your own standards, like their standards of yourself. Because I again, this is something that it will sound like an asshole comment, but I am being 100% true with this, and I am trying not to be an asshole about it. But you need to hold yourself accountable sometimes. Because people having either too critic or completely the opposite way and go into the I don't have control over your expectations of me. And yeah, you don't have control over anyone's expectations on about yourself most of the time, but that doesn't prevent you from having to meet them. Like, oh, if someone expects you to do the bare minimum at your job and you fail at doing the bare minimum at your job, which is again your job, like in your job description, your job title, your job responsibilities, if you're not meeting those standards, you cannot just go, oh well, I cannot control what you expect of me. I don't have control over your standards over myself. Because yes, you don't have you might not have control over that, but you still have the responsibilities that come with that. It's not the same. That balance is all over the place. It's not the same for self-imposed standards as it is for standards imposed by someone else. Can I carry this attached to shoulders or something? No, so I can offload them for now. Well, some of it will be out of the backpack, but that's why we kept 2 of the repair thingies. Because the package will get damaged on the way, but hopefully not the content. Something the dark side of the force. Oh yeah, standards being met and all. Again, I am all in for forgiving yourself for not meeting your own standards, but when those standards affect someone else, you need to be a bit more aggressive about it. You cannot just say, "Oh, boo-hoo, I'm sorry that I didn't meet your standards," or "I'm sorry that I cannot control what you expect of me," because don't damage the cargo. Don't damage the cargo, Sam. Okay, rope it is. Oh, the yellow. Okay, I forgot about that mechanic. Okay, there is a yellow gauge that appears every now and then. That will tell you if you are within your like limits or not. And when the yellow gauge empties, you are fucked. Like that light blue gauge that was going down and that it turned yellow. Yeah, that's your actual stamina. You have your overall stamina that it's the darker blue thing, and that is going down right now. But then you have the active stamina, which is the one that is like dropping down, and that will make you fall if you like use it completely. That's not how ropes should work. You are not you're not getting any leverage from that. You're just walking. That rogue is really on the way. That rogue, not rock. But yeah, be kind to yourself, as my wife would say. You need to remember to be kind to yourself, but you also need to remember to get your shit together, especially on occasions where it is important to get your shit together, because you can forgive yourself for some things, but some things are unforgivable, sadly. And when I say unforgivable, I mean like you shouldn't need forgiveness because you could have prevented the situation. That's what I meant. It's hard to... I don't know how to express it because, again, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but sometimes people will just look for an excuse. And I'm not saying that you, the person listening to this, are looking for an excuse right now. I'm saying people in general, like overall people, will sometimes look for an excuse and say, I don't have control over this, when they do have control over this. They will blame someone else instead of blaming themselves because That's the avoidance trap. That's what humans do when they are overwhelmed by something. And that's a whole different conversation that we will get into eventually. Um, this this has been a really long video just to, convince myself that my own failures were created by myself and that I need to forgive myself for them because there is literally no consequence to anything I'm doing. So it's, I don't want to say it's not my fault, but it is not my fault. Like, to an extent, being unable to draw what I wanted to draw. Okay, I had 5 drawings that I wanted to make for October, and I made the 5. One of them, 1 out of 5, sucks. 1 out of 5, I'm not proud of. 1 out of 5, I'm not happy with the standards. But that's still 1 out of 5. Like, it's a good fucking percentage. So yeah, S rank Legend of Legends. I am proud of this, and I am proud that I'm able to work through my own shit and not justify things because again, it sounds like I would be justifying X, Y, and Z and saying, okay, it's not my fault. Just looking for an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's actually, reality. You have to deal with it sometimes. Reality, that thing that no one wants to deal with because it sucks. But yeah, be kind to yourself. Listen to my wife. Be kind to yourself, and things will work out. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. If you want to be on the credits like Riku, Dino Gamer, The Lion, Blackstar, Toki, and Mr. Big, you just need to support the channel however you can, and you can do it by, on the streams, subscribing, gifting subs using beats, or tipping on the streams. You can also tip on Coffee. You can tip on Patreon. We have exclusive content on Patreon. We made it for October, and we are starting to make exclusive content on Patreon. So you can get there and get some cool exclusive rewards on Patreon. You can also give me something from the throne list, or you can give yourself some of the cool merch that we have that I was just talking about. The Halloween merch or any like video game merch that you might like. We have really cool Legend of Zelda and other video games that we have played on the channel merch. You have inside joke merch. Most of the Halloween stuff, if not all of the Halloween stuff. I have a couple of game Halloween things, but most of it are just inside jokes of the channel merch. So yeah, if you like that, I get a tiny cut of the money if you get yourself merch. There are other and better ways to support myself, to support me, than getting merch. Getting merch is more for your enjoyment than supporting me. It does support me, but like a direct tip through String Elements would be better, or a direct tip through Coffee would be better. Patreon, as far as I know, takes a lower cut than the gift shop that I have, the merch store that I have. So yeah, some ways are better to support me, and some ways are not that good. I wanted to give you like different ways of supporting me while also receiving something in return, not just like supporting the channel. Or you could just commission me to edit video, because I am an unemployed editor, video editor, and I do video editing for a living. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video stream or whatever I'm doing. But until then, see ya.